Make sure you watch until the end to see how you can win free gear and products. Hey, this is PJ with CLK Supplies, and I am here once again with Tanner, aka Kid Lock.
Hello.
Tanner, thanks for coming back on.
Hey, great to be on.
And so what I wanted to do today is give you a tour of Tanner's service van. And not only give you a tour of it, but I want him to kind of go into some detail on why things are where they are and why it's important to him. Now, before we get going too far though, Tanner, if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit, like how long have you been a locksmith and what type of locksmithing work do you do?
I've been a locksmith for a little over 20 years. I do everything locksmith entailed. Safes, commercial, residential, lockouts, auto, you name it, we will do it, and I'll try it. If I haven't done it, we'll give it a shot. We do everything out of our service vans.
Cool. So, what type of van are we standing in front of here?
This is a 2017 Dodge Ram 1500 ProMaster, front wheel drive. You can haul a lot of weight in the back of these. We got this one, a little bigger van to haul our safe trailer when we're moving safes. It's not a 3/4 ton, but it does a great job. We went with the low roof. The high roof, it's really nice, but you can't really get into any garages, parking garages. Went with the low roof. I'm kind of limited on getting in garages, but I can get in a couple.
Okay. Now, how is this van for you in the winter? Up here in Idaho, we get a lot of snow in the winter. Like, how does it do, honestly?
Honestly, not very well at all. Just honestly, front wheel drive is great on a car, on a big van with about 1,500 to 2,000 pounds in the back. You're trying to pull all that weight through snow and ice, and they're not really well. We'll run brand new, studded snow tires on it. Most of the time, if I have to go up on the hills, I have to chain them. But it's great for the summer. It's great on tires. We've had it for a couple years now. I don't think we've had to buy a set of tires for it. Being front wheel drive, it's just way better on tires. We run, a couple of our vans are in all wheel drive, and they're tearing through tires all the time.
Okay. Now, before we show everyone, I kind of want to get the idea behind setting this van up, right? There's so many ways to do it. There's so many ways, a lot of times lock vans kind of are like extensions of yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? And guys love how they get them, designed and outfitted.
Yes.
Give us like the 1,000-foot view of what you decided to do in here, because you had free reign, right?
Free reign. Did it at home on my own time in my driveway. I've always had other vans that everybody else had set up, and so it was awesome to be able to get to set it up how I want it, at my height, where everything I wanted to put it. It's a great. I love how it's set up right now. It works great. It's very efficient. I'm all about efficiency. Having your tools readily available, ready to go. Did I answer that right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as far as like, when you're setting it up, were you thinking like, hey, listen, I want like the full metal, metal outfit on the inside, or were you thinking like, I want to do this inexpensively? I'm most concerned about functionality.
Yeah.
Like what?
Inexpensive is definitely what I was going for, not to spend any money. See if I can set up a van on a very, very low budget. I'm talking very low budget. Maybe $100 is what we have into this.
Really?
Maybe even less. I did a lot of dumpster diving, a lot of
literally dumpster
diving. They're building homes in my neighborhood, and they have the big giant dumpsters where they just trash everything. So it was diving in them every night and grabbing scrap metal and wood, and we hit a couple wrecking yards, and I think that's where we spent the most money. Is we got some shelving in here. Of course, I'd love to just order, you can order a van, or you can order an express van or a Dodge ProMaster with the Adrian Steel locksmith kit in it, where everything's all steel, all cabinets, everything's ready to go. But I like how this one's set up. Okay. Wood's a little lighter sometimes than steel, a little quieter as far as the squeakiness goes. I just did it with a low budget, and I wanted to prove to myself that you can do it, with not a lot of money.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and let's
show you where the magic happens.
Show you where the magic happens. All right, so we're up here in the front of the van, and Tanner, I want to say that it's pretty stock. You know, I was actually expecting a little bit more customization, like center console wise. If you can just kind of talk us through about what upgrades you have done in here and why you've kept it fairly stock.
Fairly stock. Start off with the center console. All the other vans that I've had the center console. Nice, you can store stuff. Basically you end up storing a bunch of garbage in there and you're digging into the bottom of it. Plus, they're always in my way. I like to be able to pull over to the side of the road. If I'm headed to a job, I'm like, dang, do I have that tool or do I have that part? Flip over my armrest, I can hop right into the back pretty fairly simple. With center console, I'm climbing over it like a little kid, or I got to get out and run around on the side of the road. As far as any upgrades go, new stereo, of course, got to go with the, you know, Kenwood or a better stereo with the Bluetooth system. That gives me, you know, hands-free device with my microphone, just a simple magnet for my phone. Other than that, she's very stock. Nothing really done up here. This is where you go to make your money. This is where you start up in the cockpit. Not much going on. Of course, you know, you have to have a 1,000-watt amp and a big sub to have your good music. You don't want to be cranking it next to cars or in somebody's driveway rekeying houses. But it's always nice to have the work van and have a nice stereo system. Okay, yeah. So this is a real sub right here. That's my first sub I've ever purchased. That's probably over 30 years old. It still works. I'm cheap.
Oh man. Okay, so is there anything that you wish that like you plan to do in the future in here, or are you pretty content with how you have everything set up?
I'm fairly content how everything's set up. It's easy. I don't really like to be drilling holes in the dash and mounting key tags and key rings and everything. I like to keep it nice and clean. I'm OCD with anything on the top of my dash. I don't like driving down the road with toilet paper on my dash. I just like it nice and clean. If there was anything I would change or want, I would like tinted windows. In this van, you sit very up and very noticeable. You feel like you're like you're in a semi, but everybody's looking right at you. You sit very high. On this, the windows don't even go down all the way because you sit so high. I believe they don't want you to fall out driving down the road.
Interesting.
But, other than that, I love the van. You know,
okay.
Keep it simple, keep it easy.
All right, Tanner, now you do lockouts in this van, right?
Yes.
Is this something, do you do lockouts like on a daily basis?
24/7, 365.
Okay, so you do a lot of them.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, so I would like you to show everybody like how you have your lockout tools configured in the van, because obviously I'm guessing you don't want to crawl in the van trying to find something every time you want to do a lockout.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Time is everything. I'll repeat it again. Efficiency. Got to be fast. Got to be quick. Got to get to the next job. Yeah. So we pull up to a lockout. You know, I hop out. I do my little dance. I greet the customer. We open up the side, and I keep my tools that I use all the time. I keep very close. I got my wedge. I got my Slim Jim, which I use all the time still. My Slim Jim, and then I have just a simple up and under tool that I use, you know, for some older GMs. I keep that readily available. I keep them right there real quick. I don't have to dig in a bag.
What does that look like? What do you have them in right there?
I just have them stuck into the plastic, the trim plastic. It keeps them from rattling. It keeps them nice and tight.
Okay.
I was gonna build a bracket there, but it just takes more time and money to build brackets when, you know, what was there worked really well. Still have, you know, I have my long rod up above. Very used long rod. It used to be glow in the dark. See, it's open probably close to 1,000 vehicles. And then I just keep my, and then we just got the green weenie, my most used tools. I just keep very readily available, really close to the door. If I really want to get technical and I'm working on something really tough, I'll get in there and I have the regular Tool Masters, you know, lock kit in the back with all your hard tools.
Okay. Now, so what I noticed here is that you don't have like anything custom per se. You kind of looks like you figured out a way just to incorporate them by the door in the van.
Yeah.
Real simple. And I see you have a big mag light there. Is that what you use when you're
big mag? No, I really don't use this. I'll either throw my headset on if I'm using two hands.
Okay.
Or I'll use my normal little Harbor Freight flashlights. I have a couple of them on the dash.
Okay.
And then I have one. I keep one right here. Just a simple LED flashlight.
It's a real small one there.
It's a small one.
It looks like you have your pump wedge.
Got a hard wedge just in case. You know, I have a couple little LED flashlights that I hold on to, readily available, really quick.
Okay.
Pump wedge.
So it's all really close. I mean, like, you're not really getting in your van unless you need something out of the ordinary.
Right.
You have it all right here,
All
nice
right
and
here.
Simple.
Unlock the vehicle, it all goes right back where it was. You're done.
Tanner, super cool that you're able to just incorporate them into the van, and you don't have to like add some bulky thing.
Other brackets to take up room. I was just all worried about room. I just wanted the most space. I didn't want to feel like I was just crammed in everything.
Okay. All right, guys, so we are in the back of Tanner's van, according to the whiteboard right there where the magic happens.
Where the magic happens, yeah.
So, Tanner, I'll just give the floor to you here and just kind of talk to us about everything you have going on in here and why.
Yeah, this is just the standard basic setup that I want to kind of run. I wanted to keep it wide. I went with a slanted workbench. You know, I have my pinning station here, a couple little locks parts, tail pieces, nice stamp blocker, a nice big plate for stamping keys, you know, IC core kit, stamps. I've got my Nomad set up, ready to go. It's bolted to the bench. I like it in this angle. This is just full of all my safe tools. I can easily unhook it, roll it out of the way if I'm going to sit there and cut a lot of keys. But normally I don't. Normally I'll just stand and cut some keys. It's very simple. This van, you know, if I was just a couple inches shorter, I'd be perfect. But it's nice because I'm usually bent over cutting keys anyway. Standard, you know, here's my 1200 favorite machine. Got my battery chargers, of course. I got my bench grinder, always a must. Bench grinder, I'm always using this thing. Then we just got our drawers where I just keep all my overstock of key blanks and miscellaneous cam locks and strike plates. And then I got a toolbox down below, which is my sockets and screwdrivers. Dry erase board for if I'm you know, decoding a key on my 1200, or I want to write some biddings down, I just use the dry erase board. I've got lighting all over in the place here. I've got a long strip board up underneath to plug multiple tools in. Then we go over to this side. We have just all my stock, all the commercial, residential, you know, knobs, levers, deadbolts, door closers, you name it. Got all that there. Just miscellaneous deadbolt kit. So I clamped everything down so nothing's sliding around. I don't have any keys on my board. I have them in the key box here. This key box is pretty cool. I'm not going to go into full detail, but it just keeps, I just don't like hearing all the noise, and I hate going over, you know, we're in Idaho, so we're always on, you know, washboard roads. Keys are always falling off the wall, and you're putting rubber bands around. So I just want to kind of keep it simple and quiet. I like it nice and quiet. It always sounds like Christmas when you got keys on your wall and you're going through and they're jingling and falling on the ground. Of course, you always got to have a nice heavy-duty vise mounted very solid. You know, for impressioning or doing anything, it's kind of handy. Other than that, of course, you know, you got your old MTX subwoofer down here. Just miscellaneous tools in my to-go bag. I usually always have a to-go bag ready if I need to go into a commercial building and you don't know where you're going. You're parked, you know, a mile away. It's always nice to just take all your basic tools, hammers, you name it. Then I just have a box here, a file cabinet, basically an old file cabinet. I have all my mortise cylinders, strike plates, all my other little pinning kits, my quick set kits, everything else. That's basically just the overall setup on it. You know, everything has been repurposed. Everything's been, you know, this was an old board, old dry erase board, cabinets that came out of a post office. Everything's just an old toolbox. And that's basically where it all starts. It's just your basic stuff. And then, you know, we haven't had this van set up for too long, so I don't have a lot of stuff in here yet. Like my old van, you know, you start collecting and you never want to throw strike plates away because you can always make brackets, or always, you know, you're always going to run into something where you're going to need it. I kind of figure myself as a locksmith hoarder because I just don't like to throw anything away, because guaranteed you're gonna need it again. But that's your basic stuff.
All right, Tanner, well, I have to say, man, the inside of your van here is pretty cool. I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
Doing it all.
Thank you.
Now, last but not least here is I want to have you show everyone what your workbench, your pinning station looks like, because you've pinned a lot of locks in vans over the years, right?
A couple. Yeah.
And I know, because you were talking to me about it while you were setting this up, is that you really wanted to have a good setup for rekeying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So could you show us and kind of go into detail on why you have everything the way you have it?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Cool. We'll show you. All right. So this is the pinning station. I kind of just wanted to do it at my height, my knee height. I wanted it so it's right in front of me. I don't like it too low. I don't like it too high. So I got in here, and this is how I got my measurement. I wanted my hands right here. This is how high I made the bench. Tall people might want work. Short people might not work, but it's perfect for me. I love how it's set up. Of course, I got my CLK Supplies, pinning kit here. We're ready to go. Did a little hinge thing on here just to keep my simple followers really close. I got my airlock, my tray here, bit of resetter, some pliers, just a couple simple tools where they're just readily available and they don't roll out on the ground when you hit some bumps. Of course, I've got my CLK Supplies decoder, your multi decoder tool, and then just your simple basic stuff. You're ready to go. Have my setup keys all ready to go. Quickset, Schlag, SC4, Weiser, got some Yales in there, and then of course I've got a magnet for just keeping my Pippin files, because I don't like digging in drawers for Pippin files. That magnet works great for your pliers and everything else. Your shims stick to it really well, so they aren't blowing out, or you're keeping them in a Ziploc bag. The magnet works great. And then I just have extra pins just in case I'm running out. I have some setup keys in here, just multiple cylinders, springs, tail pieces, just readily available, so I'm not digging for a kit to pull out tail pieces. These are just your most popular stuff. Other than that, just your miscellaneous. I got a couple leashes in here ready to go, a couple more different size followers, just in case you're doing a monster plug. I got a monster follower here for some reason, but other than that, it's just very simple. I have the Houdini ready to go. I have my favorite tri-flow, but I am kind of leaning more towards the Houdini nowadays, especially after the videos I've seen. Everybody loves it. Got some liquid wrench just in case you're out. This is Idaho, so everything rusts. Other than that, a couple regs, setup keys, files, good lighting. You really want good lighting. It gets dark here pretty early. So we're rekeying locks at 5 o'clock at night and it's pitch dark. Great lighting is the key. Other than that, that's just nice and simple. Of course, I got the lab mat. I need the CLK Supplies mat. I think I might need to make my board a little bigger to get that, but other than that, that's where the magic happens.
All right, guys, and there you have it. Tanner, thank you so much for taking the time to give us an in-depth tour of your van.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Makes me a little nervous. I don't know if I'm gonna get picked apart or not, but this is how I have it set up. This is how I liked it.
Tanner, I think they're gonna be nice to you.
Awesome.
I think they're gonna be nice to you.
I'll take it.
And I have to say, I really love the workstation. Now, a couple of vans ago, you and I shared the same van.
Yeah.
And seeing from what we used to work at in that,
yeah,
compared to this, as far as like the pinning station, man, that looks like a dream. If you're gonna pin up 100 locks, that looks like a good station to do it in.
It is nice, and you have room. Even I use the sub box down there. I'll stack all my locks. If you got 40 locks, it's nice to have, and I didn't go over that, but it is nice to have a little area where you can pile all your locks you're doing. These are done. These are left to go.
Okay.
But it was great doing it. I love doing the videos.
And do you have any advice for guys that are maybe looking at setting up a new van, maybe setting up their first van?
Advice, I would start, you're setting up a brand new van, let's start making that van make some money first before you start dumping a lot of money into your setup on it. Just start simple. Start with some plywood and some little 1x1s. That's how Pete started them all. Started them simple, very affordable to do it at the shop. Just some glue and some screws, and you're good to go. Start simple. Start cheap. I'm cheap. And you'll once you start making money, then you can start getting your new Adrian steel cabinets if you want them, or your new key boxes or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, just start easy.
Now, before we go, I do have to ask, you know, I mean, what is the name of this van? Because I've really never met someone that hasn't nicknamed their van. So there has to be some name for this. I'd love to know it.
There's a lot of dirty ones. For the camera, I just call her Dirty Dodge, the Dirty Pro Master, the Dirty Dodge. I call her Dirty. But she's not always clean. I mean, we're in Idaho. It's usually just covered in mud, but you know, we like to keep nice, clean looking vans. You know, I call her the Lock Boss, the Dirty Dodge. She'll go anywhere. At 3 o'clock in the morning, she'll come to you.
Well, I guess at least for the camera, the Dirty Dodge.
Dirty Dodge
is its name, right?
That's the cleanest version we can do. Yes.
Awesome. Well, Tanner, thanks again for doing this.
You're welcome.
Everyone, thank you for watching. We'd love to know that your comments below.
Yes.
I know, Tanner, you'll be reading them, won't you?
Yes. Yeah. If you have ideas of how I can do something better or ideas, send us pictures of your van. I mean, I want to see different setups. I've only seen like what Country Lock and Key has. You know, we have a lot of vans and they're all set up a little different, but I would love to see how you guys have your van set up. Give us little ideas.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Just gonna test it out, you know.
Over again.
PJ's gonna.
Okay.
All right, now Tanner, you do lockouts, right?
Yes. Yes.
24/7.
Love lockouts.
All the time, right?
Yeah.
Well, I want to. Sorry, I don't like how I answered that. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right, Tanner. So you do lockouts in this van, right? Is it weird doing it multiple times?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sorry.
I love answering a question 3 times.
All right, Tanner. So we're here. We're already here.
Yeah, we're here. Can they see you?
Can you see me? Can you see my feet?
No. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll get a little more.
There you go.
There we go.
Since you just watched this video, I'm guessing that you work with locks and keys. And to us at CLK Supplies, that makes you a lock boss. And we want to hook you up. Here's how it works. Throughout the week, join the conversation and comment on our posts and videos and include the hashtag LockBoss. It's free to enter this giveaway. And every Tuesday, we're gonna pick 5 winners from the previous week and hook you up with all sorts of prizes, including gear, tools, supplies. We might even send you a key machine or buy you lunch. So if you're a lock boss, join us every week to learn, grow, and win.